So this is the board of all of the creators participating in the Creator Collab remix. So what I'm going to be doing is drawing names from this Tumblr to find out who will be remaking in their own style from who. The next person is going to be me, so let's see who I am going to be recreating from. Mayra makes it.
This is the final lineup for the Creator Collab
remix.
So I was assigned to pick a video from Mayra Makes It. I have never watched any of Mayra Makes It videos before, to be honest. And after I picked the video, I found the video that I wanted because, of course, if you know me, you know I love bright colors and animal print. So I obviously had to pick Geode Remix. I am obsessed. Mayra Makes It. I love her videos. She keeps your attention the entire time. She is super, super sweet. I love it. So I could not wait to recreate this tumbler. So I started off with a 30-ounce skinny from Griffin Blanks, and I'm also using one of my opaque vinyl sheets. This is the tie-dye. I brought the vinyl sheet back a little bit from the backing and then cut it off. And then I lined up to the best of my ability the sheet to my tumbler. I wasn't too worried about it being like crooked or anything because the seam is going to end up having something over it. So did the best I could. So watching Mayra's video, she uses her fingers instead of a squeegee to wrap tumblers with vinyl. And I've always used a squeegee, but I was like, hey, let me try just using my fingers. Actually, it wasn't that bad. I suck at wrapping a tumbler either way, so I learned that. But doing my best. So, you wrap the tumbler with your vinyl sheet, and once that is completely wrapped, then you can go ahead and make sure there are no bubbles. I take an X-Acto knife and just kind of pop the bubbles, if that makes sense, and push down. So I just poke a little hole like that and then push down, and the bubble's gone, so you don't have to worry about it. I then used my nail to line up where that seam was, and then just took a very sharp X-Acto knife and brought it down. So I usually just kind of like cut vinyl, but I was like, I saw that Mayra did it a little bit different, so I was like, let me try it this way. And in Mayra's video, she cut off the excess prior to folding down the bottom edges. I wanted to try it a little bit different, so this is the way I did it. I kind of cut slices and I pushed it down the best I could, and then I took my X-Acto knife and ran it around the rim to cut off the excess. I will tell you, not the best idea. I did have to sand down the edges a little bit later on. I should have done it a little bit closer to the edge because those little crease pieces definitely had a hard time being covered in epoxy, and I didn't want my tumbler to be uneven or unlevel when sitting on a table. So typically I use the cup edging tool from Wicked Shimmer, but I really liked the way that she cleaned the rim with the vinyl, which is what I'm doing here, basically just taking my X-Acto knife around it after pushing the top of the vinyl into the cup, and I definitely thought this was way easier. So I am going to be using Prime Time. This is also what Mayra used in her video. to lay out where the geode is going to be on my cup. Prime time is great because I didn't have to tape anything off to like spray paint it. I painted where I wanted my geode to be. So Mayra mentioned in her video that typically when people do geodes, they do two. I wanted to do one like hers because I thought that would be awesome. So she also did Mod Podge and Dispersion colors from CCDIY, and I did as well because the neon colors from CCDIY are so hard to find in acrylic paint, and they're so great. So I went ahead and did 50% Mod Podge, 50% Dispersion colors. These are the colors that I used, and then I started on my geode. So basically, this is the longest part of the tumbler. This probably took me about an hour, hour and a half. I took a small, thin paintbrush, and I started with a dark pink glitter, and then went to a lighter pink color. So when Mayra did hers, she did not do two different colored pinks. I felt that I wanted to kind of gradually come out, maybe, I guess. So I did a dark pink and then a light pink. So basically you're just painting where you want the glitter to go, and then you add the glitter. I'm using all of these from BAMF Customs. You can find the supply list below as well as some discount codes. I'm using Carnation Pink, East Bubblegum, Spring Orange, East Pollen, East Kiwi, E-Rain, E-Orchid, and then I'm also using Grape. I think it's Grape. I can't remember. I'm using another one that's a darker purple because I ended up adding that towards the end. So you're basically going to take your time, go around the geode, and paint away. You may have to do a second coat on like the yellow or the green. I did. It wasn't absolutely necessary, but it all depends. Looking back, I probably didn't need the second coat, the second layer of Mod Podge and glitter. But yeah, it's completely up to you. So this is going to be a little bit of time as you watch this, because like I said, this is the longest part. This is completely sped up because it has to be. There, like I said, this was like 3 hours of footage. So I know y'all don't want to sit there and watch 3 hours of me painting a geode. I did my best to make it odd shaped. Because I know geodes can have a bad reputation if you use too many like pinks and reds. So I did my best to just do a rainbow instead. I did like the idea of it being one long geode though, instead of two. I think it went really well with the tie-dye vinyl that I chose for this tumbler, and I'm really excited to see how it like turns out with painting the lines and stuff. So once you finish your glitter portion, you're going to let the Mod Podge completely dry. I let it sit overnight because I did this late at night anyways. And then I sprayed it with some clear spray paint, clear gloss spray paint. And once that was dry, I went ahead and added epoxy. So I will just let you guys know that I did seal it with clear spray paint. I felt that was the best for the moment because I really didn't want the glitters to mix because I feel like it would have ruined the whole thing. Towards the end of adding all of the glitter, I went ahead and took a soft bristle brush and kind of took any of the excess glitter off of the tumbler so that when I did seal it, I didn't seal the excess glitter all over to the tumbler still. So a soft bristle brush, and then you can do the same thing once it's completely dried too before you spray it. I took about, I want to say it was probably like 40 milliliters of CCDIY's Fast Set Epoxy. I did 40 because I wanted complete coverage, and I covered the entire tumbler, made sure I torched it, and then after about 2-3 hours, it was ready for the next step. I went ahead and cleaned up the edge of the cup with my Dremel and an X-Acto knife, as well as the bottom portion, because I was a little annoyed with how I wrapped the vinyl. I actually think I did 2 coats of epoxy prior to sanding it because I didn't want to chance messing up the glitter. So it was 2 coats. The first coat was 40 milliliters. The second coat was 20 milliliters. Once I sanded it, I went ahead and cleaned it off with some 91% alcohol, and then I added another thin layer of epoxy, which was about 20 milliliters. And once that was cured, that is when I started on the markers. I could not remember, but as I'm doing the voiceover, I remember now. So I used these Arteza chalk markers from Amazon, and the reason why I really like the chalk markers is because they show up very well over any color base because they're meant to be written on a black chalkboard. So I love these chalk markers to do lines and stuff, and plus before it dries, it's super easy to wipe off. I decided to go from the inside out, starting with the darkest color from the outside in. So I started with the purples, the blues, and then moved it out. In Mayra's video, she used like a very mustardy yellow for all the lines, which I thought still looked fantastic. I just wanted to change it up, add a lot of color, and do a little bit more. So I did that. I lined it. I will say that in the end, when you look at the final product, you will see some smudges. So be careful with the marker. Make sure it dries. I smudged some of it prior to it drying all the way, didn't notice it, and added epoxy. So that's okay. I can always take the markers over top the next layer and add it, and it'll be good to go. So completely up to you. So I took the markers, did this. I'll link those below. I love these Arteza markers. I really do. Once the markers are completely dry, I went ahead and added another 20 milliliters of epoxy. And then the cup was basically done. I did want to add a decal, but I didn't. I know Mayra added leopard spots into the center of hers. I did not. I wanted to leave the geode as is. And but this is how it turned out. I really liked it. I actually really love this tumbler, and I'm probably gonna keep it for myself because I'm super happy about it. I might add a decal, but who knows. Anyways, go check out everyone's videos below. Go check out Mayra Makes It's videos. She's fantastic. I love her videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.